Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. And I want to talk about the things that are happening now and with the year 2020 as we're entering another decade. It's time for us to really look at our future, knowing the way the economy is going and with the upcoming election for people who want Trump out of office and vice versa and this and that. I trust that people will make the right decision with whoever you vote for. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect president. In my opinion, I don't know, but I guess the last one we ever had was Kennedy. Hopefully, with 2020 coming up, with all these things for this new year, and who knows what's going to happen in 2021. Hopefully, the economy gets much better and a lot of the stupid bullshit will pretty much die down. So much damage has already been done. It's my opinion, though. I don't believe in voting anymore. To me, I think it's pointless. And it's for a reason that I'm kind of reluctant to tell you. But this is just my suspicion. And for those of you who want to play favorites of who do you think will be a better candidate, Mike Bloomer, I forgot his last name. I'm sorry. Who's going coming up against Trump, and anybody else, for that matter. It's just my honest opinion. That it doesn't really matter who you vote for. The people that are really in power, which is not the president, which is not the Senate, it's somebody else. And they pretty much hold a golden scepter of power. And they pretty much call the shots. They're the ones that actually decide who gets to be president. They decide how good the economy gets and how lousy it gets. That it's ups and downs and stuff like that. And here are just a few examples of what I mean.
Governments try to perpetuate that which keeps them in power. People are not elected to political office to change things. They're put there to keep things the way they are. So you see, the basis of corruption is in our society. Let me make it clear. All nations then are basically corrupt because they tend to uphold existing institutions. I don't mean to uphold or downgrade all nations, but communism, socialism, fascism, the free enterprise system, and all other subcultures are the same. They are all basically corrupt.
And that's just the kind of thing that I mean. I kind of believe it. A part of me doesn't want to, but another part of me does. It's pretty much 50-50 at this point. And I'm open to the fact, excuse me, sorry. I'm just open to the fact that we will get someone that would actually care about, or at least care enough to make things a little bit better. But for things to be a lot better, that's never going to happen, in my opinion. Corruption is just way too strong. And there's one other thing that I saw, which it's up to you if you want to believe it.
Iraq actually is a perfect example of the way the whole system works. So we economic hitmen are the first line of defense. We go in and we try to corrupt governments and get them to accept these huge loans, which we then use as leverage to basically own them. If we fail, as I failed in Panama with Omar Torrijos and in Ecuador with Jaime Roldos, men who refuse to be corrupted, then the second line of defense is we send in the jackals. And the jackals either overthrow governments or they assassinate. And once that happens and a new government comes in, and boy, it's going to toe the line because the new president knows what will happen if he doesn't. In the case of Iraq, both of those things failed. Economic hitmen were not able to get through to Saddam Hussein. We tried very hard. We tried to get him to accept a deal very similar to what the House of Saud had accepted in Saudi Arabia, but he wouldn't accept it. And so the jackals went in to take him out. They couldn't do it. His security was very good. After all, he had one time worked for the CIA. He'd been hired to assassinate a former president of Iraq and failed, but he knew the system. So in 91, we send in the troops and we take out the Iraqi military. So we assume at that point that Saddam Hussein is going to come around. We could have taken him out, of course, at that time, but we didn't want him. He's the kind of strong man we like. He controls his people. We thought he could control the Kurds and keep the Iranians in their border and keep pumping oil for us. And then once we took out his military, now he's going to come around. So the economic hitmen go back in the 90s without success. If they'd had success, he'd still be running the country. We'd be selling him all the fighter jets he wants and everything else he wants. But they couldn't. They didn't have success. The jackals couldn't take him out again. So we sent the military in once again, and this time we did the complete job and took him out, and in the process created for ourselves some very, very lucrative construction deals. We had to reconstruct a country that we essentially destroyed, which is a pretty good deal if you own construction companies, big ones.
And that's another reason why I feel so weary about our future. Corruption is all over. It doesn't really matter if the political party is Democrat or Republican. I want to believe that there's hope. I have to. And with the upcoming elections and knowing how the world really is, we have to protect our democracy. Plain and simple. We just basically have to. And just be smart enough to make the right decisions. I hate corruption. I hate that the fact that it doesn't matter what side you vote for. If those people are corrupted, they're going to screw over the country. They're going to screw over the people. To the point that I just don't feel like voting anymore. And I think that I don't know. I don't know. So, if you have any questions or drop a comment or whatever, you know the routine. And make sure if you like, press the like button and things like that. And if you really like this video, if you think it's important, just share it. And I want to get as much comments and opinions from people as possible to know what's going on, with all of you. I am kind of afraid about the future. Hopefully things will get better, but who knows? I mean, I'm just hoping for the best. So this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.